In today's video, you've been dieting, but still no six-pack. I'm gonna explain to you exactly why that is and how to get there. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Rella from physique.com, and I consider myself a bit of a fat loss expert. Why? Well, because I've been doing this for about 20 years now, not only for myself, but I've coached competitors and I continue to coach athletes at the highest level of the sport, world champions, Olympians. And what I'm doing now is helping you with your fat loss goals. Why? Because I think there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I want to explain why you're not making progress and why you're not reaching your goals and what we can do to help you get there. So let's break down the question that I got right here on my Instagram direct message. So give me a follow there if you have a question, or leave a comment below. We're starting right now. I'm 36 years old, 80 kilograms, started dieting in February 25th. In 100 days, lost about 9 kilos. And for those that are keeping track at home, that's around 20 pounds. That's pretty impressive. Started at 89 kilos, so obviously down to 80. Food is around 1,950 calories with 180 grams of protein, 10,000 steps, doing push-pull legs, a couple cheat meals here and there, and some cereal at night, but that's it. You're leaner, you feel you're losing strength, and starting to look small, but no six-pack. Should I push further, more cardio, less calories, or a refeed? You know, first and foremost, six packs, the visibility of the abs is usually going to be a weight that is way below where we're comfortable, at least initially. You know, I've been doing this so long now that I'm actually comfortable here. I'm about 208 pounds right now, which is at 6'3". I'm lighter than I usually walk around at 220 or so when I'm just chilling. So I'm leaner than that. But years ago, I used to walk around at 235, 240, right? So I've reshaped my physique to stay leaner year round. And so we're going to talk about how you can do that. But the first thing you got to get through your head is when you're dieting down to six-pack lean, visible ab lean, for most men, that's going to be, 10%. Some can see their abs at 12% if they're really developed. Some won't see them till 7 or 8% if they store more fat on their stomach and have leaner lower bodies. But the idea is you're going to have to get leaner, and there are going to be phases where you start to struggle. Days in the gym where the weights feel a little heavy. Days at home when the shirts feel a little loose and you start to feel skinny. And so the reason that I was successful dieting down to get my first six-pack is I had an end goal that outweighed my daily feelings. Your feelings, okay? That is the first problem. No one reaches their actual goal because they listen to their feelings. I feel tired, I feel hungry, I feel small. You're not small. You are hungry and you are tired, but you're on your way to your goal and you're close. So why would you stop? Because you're listening to your feelings that are telling you that you should make a change. But if you have a guiding light, like I did, was a bodybuilding show. And I knew if I got on a bodybuilding stage, I had to be the leanest guy up there. And so even on the days when I didn't feel good, I had a great workout. Even on the days when I didn't feel good, I got my butt up and did my cardio. I followed my meal plan. I prepped my meals for the day ahead. And so is your plan good? Yeah. Should you have a refeed? Absolutely. You guys know my rule around refeed. I haven't mentioned it in a while. When your carbs are below your body weight on a daily basis per pound, so if you're 150 pounds and you're at 150 carbs or below, I believe you should have a high carb refeed day that is roughly 75 to 100% of your current carbs. So for someone that's on, like, say, 150 grams of carbs a day, I would say have one day a week at 250 grams of carbs. It's only 400 calories and you're going to feel great. Your muscles are going to get fuller. Remember, carbohydrates are glycogen. They go to your muscles. They pull water into your muscles. Your performance improves. Your muscle size improves. And I think what a lot of us struggle with when we're dieting down is that lost performance that you mentioned and the lost muscle fullness that we're not seeing. So if you're giving yourself once a week refeed, you're doing a few things. A, you're giving yourself a mental break. B, you're giving yourself a little bit of boost in the gym and feeling good, and visually in the mirror, you're going to see things. But also don't forget, carbohydrates are valuable for our hormones, like our thyroid function, which is going to help our metabolism. So oftentimes I'll have athletes report to me that they dropped weight after a higher carb day, and they say, why don't we do this every day? And I have to remind them that the reason they dropped weight after the high carb day is because you did all the low carb days before, right? So what should you do if you want to see your six pack? You should just accept the fact that you're going to have to get lighter than you've ever been. Also, if you're not training them multiple days per week, I was an athlete growing up. I played baseball, I played basketball, I played volleyball. I was training my core, jumping, running my whole life. I've never really had to do a whole lot of ab work. I still do one set every day to failure of abs. That's just my way of maintaining them. But you might have to actually put in some work. I have a core training program that I give my athletes. And if you guys are looking for coaching, no pressure. I help you for free, but I'll put a link below. You can register a free consult. But the idea here is that we are putting things in position in our mind to get rid of those feelings, to accept the fact that you're gonna have some rough days, to give yourself a once a week refeed at minimum when your carbs get low, and accept that we're gonna try to lose about 1% of our body weight per week, right? So if you're at, I think you said you're at 80 kilos, so you wanna try to lose maybe 0.8 kilos per week. That's a really good rate of fat loss for the dumb Americans out there. We're looking at probably, 1.7 pounds per week. But the idea here is that we're losing fat at a rate where we're not sacrificing muscle, we're not sacrificing our well-being. So yeah, if you have any more questions, and if you don't understand macros or what you should be doing, I've got a free calculator. Free. Just go to prophysique.com/calculator, plug in all your information. It will give you some macros to follow. How do you know if they're right for you? It's an equation based on science. It might not be right for you, but you follow that for a week. If you lose body fat, then you know what was right for you. Okay. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them here. I want to help you guys reach your goals, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.